Whoa! Welcome back to the studio, Ryan, aka BloodShot Airbrushing, and I know, long time no see, but as you can plainly see, I've been really busy. Got a couple finished products in the studio. Ting ting. Not everything I do is super complicated. Sometimes it's just adding a couple lines, changing a few colors, make it pop. And of course, we've got Lumalore galore, literally, and the Aztec theme bike, which you may have caught a hint of on some of the other social medias that I frequent. We'll talk about this one a little bit more. But the reason why I've been so absent as of late is the workload plus the memory log. My phone only has so much memory. I've got 4 projects on there, I believe. We've got a helmet, we've got 2 Lumalore projects, and another one coming down for you. So I really don't have much memory left to be in here jibber jabbering, making new videos. I gotta get the old ones out to you before I can get more new ones rolling. Makes sense? Yeah, it's the world I live in. So that's a little bit of an update as to where I am as far as this channel goes. 9,000 strong in the BloodShot Army. And once again, I am feeling ever grateful. So I've gotta spit it on back to you. Roll call time, and for you new subscribers who have never partaken in one of our roll call contest sticker extravaganza giveaways, patooey, what we do here is drop a line in the comment section. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what brings you to this channel. Let me know what you'd like to learn. And we're going to get all of that into the great old machine. Let the hamster spin to spit out more videos for the future. Tailor it to what you guys want. And on top of that, 5 lucky commenters, 5 will be chosen at random. It's a random number generator, so you can comment as many times as you want, but your name is entered 1 time. Gotta be fair. And please, if you have won before, just drop a little line, let me know. Can't keep track of y'all, and I can't chase y'all down. There's still a few winners from back when that haven't claimed their stickers. Go back to those roll call videos. There are a few different ways to see if you are a winner. I have been putting my comment in the comment section, which is revealing the winners' names. That has been working good. I've had a few glitches where YouTube won't let me do that. So we've moved to the description section of the videos. They now have the winners' names listed in the actual description section of the video. Hit that little arrow, it'll drop down. You can see your name if it's there. If it's not, meh, try again. And I am also winner chicken dinner commenting on individuals' comments. This is the most I can do to get you involved, to let you know you're a winner. The rest is up to you. You follow those directions and it will tell you what to do. And I let these contests run for about 24 hours so they don't get away from me. If I let it go any longer, the comments just get to be too much to handle. I hope you understand. Doing all I can. I'm only one man. And I guess that's it for the roll call. I know you guys, I've been like whipping you around real fast. So let's get in. I'll show you what I've got in the studio right now. And this project, I want to get a little bit more in depth on. I've had quite a few questions up on the other social medias. So I'm going to answer a couple of those and just show you my process. I know a lot of you guys ask. I'm here for you. That's what I do. Alright guys, let me flip you around and you can see my immense workload. Yep, no rest for the wicked. And here we've got Lucky Lumalore 13 in the dark, and even with the lights on, you can still see We've got some glow factor. Yes, Lumalore galore. We've got that one finished. This one waiting. This one under process. And man, we've got so many other projects. The poor pooch doesn't even have a spot on the floor anymore because we are overtaken with bike parts. It's a good thing. Not for the pooch, but for me. This will be eventually another Lumalore project, my god. And as I was saying, we just changed the color of the Harley Davidson from that charcoal to white. You can kind of see the original color of the copyrighted R. And we added the white around the charcoal just to make that charcoal pop. It's actually on a blue base, which you can't see right now. It looks like a black base, but it's a dark blue. And other pieces underway, and let's talk about this bad boy. What do you say? This piece has been getting a lot of hype on Facebook, a lot of love, so I thought I'd go a little bit more into depth onto how I achieved it. I didn't record this one for the channel, unfortunately, guys. I know, memory problems. I wish I could have. This would have been a great one, so many different aspects. But there's always more, and I can always do what I've done here on the scrapbook, and we can have another look. And I think that's what we'll end up doing. We'll get into the texturing, how I get my stone work, and maybe some of the other aspects we've got on here. The moon, the sky, the smoke. And this is where it all sort of started. Let me free up my hands here and slap you onto a tripod. Alright, so it all started with a meeting with a prospective client. Now, he brought some reference to that meeting, is what he brought, and we did some talking, and I did a couple quick sketches, man. I didn't spend more than a couple minutes just to get a baseline of some ideas that he liked. I wrote down some information. This is all a completely different project. This is all of his private information. So that's it. That was it. That was enough so that me and him were on the same page and I could proceed with the project. Now, with the reference that he gave me, I did some research, and this image has actually been reproduced quite a few times. Same headdress, same skull, different dude, different place in the body. Which got me thinking, I don't want to be a copier, right? I mean, I could definitely change this up and make it my own. I do it all the time. But the whole image, he loved the pyramid at the bottom. He loved the idea of the Mayan headdress, the Mayan pyramid. I know this is an Aztec themed bike. It's kind of a little bit of both. It's kind of amalgamation. I know the Mayans came first, Aztecs came later. The pyramids are all Mayan. The Jaguar is kind of a Mayan Aztec collaboration. And then, of course, this is the Aztec calendar. And this project actually has a little bit of sentimental value to me as well. It's a special one because this pyramid here at Chichen Itza down on the Mayan Riviera in Mexico, it's a pyramid that I've climbed. Now, they don't let you do that. But I found a way. I made my way up there. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I had the whole place to myself. It was pretty magical, pretty mystical. Definitely felt at one with the universe. And it was one of those experiences that I will never, ever forget. Worth the risk. To me, maybe not for you. Don't try this at home, kids. It's just part of who I am. I knew I was only going to be at this place once. I have no intentions of going back. So I made the best of my trip down there. And with that being said, chatting back and forth with the customer, I pitched him the idea, instead of doing the Mayan headdress like we got on here, what if we did a Jaguar, sort of one of the warrior masks? And we had kind of talked about maybe an amalgamation of a headdress. So after my initial sketches, I went home and I started doing some bigger thumbnails just to wrap my brain around it, give him some ideas. This is actually a different pyramid. I pitched to him the Jaguar pyramid at the time where we were pitching a Jaguar idea. He really wanted to go back to the Mayan pyramid of Chichen Itza, and I was all about that, so we did. And we changed it from a headdress to more of a full face mask. And the idea just started snowballing from there. So once I had my sketches, it was time to start doing some good copies. And here you could see is where I usually use tracing paper. I found some imagery that I liked that kind of had the feel of what I was going for. I used this as a base, but there's a lot of things I didn't like about this imagery as well. And when I was down in Mexico, I spent a bit of money and I got myself my own Jaguar warrior mask. Probably looks pretty silly. So I use this as reference as well. This thing is beautiful. It's one of my pride and joys. Basing it off of that, we took my sketch, and I only drew half of this. When I'm drawing something that's going to be symmetrical, I draw half and then trace the other half, fold and trace, and then photocopy it to the size that I need. And from that point, we need a pyramid. And I'm not going to sit there and draw this thing from scratch. There's no reason to. I can take a stock image and use that and make stencils from it. That's exactly what I did. So I just Googled Chichen Itza pyramid. I found one that had the right angle for what I was going for. I just took my drawing and I cut it out, placed it over top, and I photocopied that to make my stencils. Guys, this is as easy as it gets. No photoshopping, cut and paste, maybe a little bit of sizing with your photocopiers. Once I've got my sizing, it's just a matter of doing a cutout, lightly ghosting on where I want stuff to lay down, and then I start going in with my more detailed stencils, all cut by hand, all cut with an X-Acto knife, number 11 blade. You can do this too. And with that, I map out my darks. And the reason why I do such detail is this gives me all my form, all my function, and now all I gotta do is shade and tone and highlight. I don't have to figure out where anything goes. It's all been done. It's all been figured out. And then you start going from there and you start cutting pyramid stencils. More stencils. Guys, this is the stack of papers that I used for this project, minus the one that hit the floor. So, I mean, it's a buttload of work, and I get that, but this is how you get quality imagery. And again, just a simple stencil just for the shadow, just so I know where everything is. It's all mapped out. Got a quick one for my lights, and again, you see I've only done one side because I can flip it and just mirror it. Buttload of work, but work smarter, not harder. For the gas tank, guys, same sort of thing. We had the idea, it changed. Originally it was just going to be a skull with a spear, but then I started thinking, you know what? We have this skull hovering above this pyramid. Why don't we have some smoke coming out from the pyramid turning into this skull? And then with that idea in place, it only made sense to have smoke coming out of this pyramid and turning into this guy. So rather than having a skull sitting on the ground, on the foreground with a spear, we decided to have this guy floating. And again, just a couple different thumbnails, getting some ideas down, seeing what the customer likes and what he doesn't. And this is what we settled on. So once we've got the idea, you start making your sketches. From your sketches, you photocopy that down to the size you need, and then you cut your stencils. And having a stencil of this quality, this is just regular photocopy paper, nothing crazy, guys, but this kind of quality means I can get it exactly mirrored on the other side, and I don't have to think about it once the drawing's been done. And again, with the pyramids, there was no sense for me to go out and draw it, so I just found pyramids that worked with the imagery I was going for. Nice detailed one, so I can get some good details in my big one. And then again, it's just a matter of cutting stencils. So you can see, cutting some darks. And because of the four corners, I've got to do layers of darks. It can't all be out of the same stencil because some of these have to sit next to one another. So ideally, once they're in there, you shouldn't see any spaces because these guys should be butting up right next to the stencil cut out around it. I hope that all makes sense. Some outlines. Again, for my skyline, let me go fish that off the ground. This gives you a nice way so you can get a skyline and have it symmetrical on both sides. Other little buildings that were added in. And this brings us to the rear fender, guys, which originally was going to be a Mayan calendar, a little different from the Aztec calendar, but the customer loved the imagery of the Aztec, and I can't disagree. The Mayan calendar is a dude holding a little package on his head. This is a dude with a bat. Yeah, I love it. Can't go wrong. So we made some changes, but again, stayed with the relative idea of having the spears. Instead of having them on the tank, we moved them to the rear fender, the pyramid, and the moon with the skull hidden in Sid Moon. Now, this Aztec calendar, as cool as it is, my God, that is a lot of work. A lot of work, right? And that might be a little overwhelming for some people, being like, he wants me to paint what now? There are ways around this, my friends. And the first thing I did was I found, again, quick Google search. Google is your friend. I just found a quick simplified version of the Aztec calendar. Man, that makes it look a little more easy, a little more doable, doesn't it? So with that, this is now, I think, maybe too simple. Would you agree? I'd agree. So what I did was I've taken this, I split it right down the middle. I started tracing out the parts that I needed and just made it a little bit more complicated. But at this point, it's still pretty simple compared to what is going on in this guy. We're starting to get some of the spaces in the cavities, and once we've got this, all we need to do is photocopy and flip. Once we've got a flipped version, you can just cut that out, stick it onto your photocopy. Now you've got the entirety, and you've got something you can, again, photocopy and start cutting stencils out of. I did have to make some changes at this point. I didn't want it to be completely symmetrical. I wanted the stone to look aged. So that is kind of what I did. And on to the stencil. And you might think for something of this caliber, I probably got like 10, maybe 20 stencils. Guys, I hope I can surprise you just a little bit. So for this project, I've got one stencil that maps out my details, and you can see I've chosen to cut out most of it out of this side, and then a couple portions out of this side, and this gives me my two different steps of the stone. It gives me my countersunk and my raised above. So all I really have for all that detail work is one stencil. And I'm not going to say that it was just one. I know what I just did. I did use this one as well. And this actually gave me two things. This gave me my 3 dimensions. So as you can see, it is a little bit smaller. And it gives me my 3-dimensional lip out of my stone. And then again, being as these two things are reproduced over and over, I just cut 2 out and then just move them along the calendar just to again give these the most raised look, and just sprayed a little bit of white. It's that easy, folks. It is honestly that easy. Now after I did that, I went in with a paintbrush and just started loosely mapping in some details. This isn't the exact replica. It's pretty damn close. If you didn't have one to look at, you definitely know what you're seeing. And then again, some more Google reference, just so I can get some colors, you know, seeing how light bounces. I loved what was going on with the Milky Way here. So we did that on top of the fender, and the customer don't even know that I added that, so that's gonna be a little bonus for him. I like to add a little something here and there. I kind of know what he likes, so I think if I embellish it just a little bit, at the end of the day, he's gonna come in and have a smile from ear to ear. Again, figuring out some of these buildings. I didn't want these to look like the ruins they are in today. I wanted them to look like the buildings that they were in way back when, in pristine shape. So I had to do some research, and that's what I did to get this project done. And so that's kind of it. If you have any questions, feel free, drop me a line. Once my details are mapped in, it's just a matter of going with your airbrush and start blending out your tones, going in with paintbrushes, start working some of these details. In this pyramid, there's a lot of paintbrush work to get some of these tight edges. You can even see in my highlights on my skull and my highlights on my Jaguar, even the moon, my little building in the background. There's a lot of paintbrush work that went on top of my airbrush work just to get those details. No paintbrush work in here. Space is super easy. It's what the airbrush is made for. But the devil is in the details. And I'm pretty happy with the way that came out. I'm going to do a delivery in the next day or so. And hopefully he agrees. So there you have it. I'm a busy boy, living the dream. Somebody's gotta. We do have more videos coming on down the line. I promise there's going to be plenty more coming. I've got so many ideas. It's just not enough time, not enough hours in the day. But mark my words, they're coming. And as always, you know how it goes. Like, follow, subscribe. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Cheers. And feel free to check out the BloodShot Airbrushing Spreadshirt merch page and grab yourself up a BloodShot uniform. Support the cause. Couple new designs in tow. And don't forget, we've got the airbrushing hacks, airbrushing for beginners, and tutorial series. Tell the world the BloodShot Army is here to spray.